let's talk about the Audix OM5. We started buying these mics probably 4 years ago, I think. And back then, we came from an SM58 and we were going to the OM5. And just the sound quality difference was a huge improvement. Obviously, it cost $60 more, so I would hope it's a little bit of an improvement. But the pickup pattern's a lot tighter, not too tight to make it to where if you deviate slightly, you're going to dip out and get lost. But tight enough to where the stage bleed isn't as much of an issue. But if you're we mix a lot of cover bands, and sometimes people don't have the best mic control, so sometimes mic's on a stand, they'll look down at their guitar. You're not gonna completely lose them if they turn their head a little bit to look at their guitar, but yet it's tight enough to really help with stage bleed if you have a lot of loud amplifiers on stage. Sound quality wise, vast improvement over the SM58. The high end, it cuts through the mix a lot better than the 58 does just right out of the box without any EQing. You don't get I forget what they call that when you get closer and closer to the mic and it gets deeper and deeper. You don't, the proximity effect. You don't get that, obviously, because of the type of mic it is. The high end maybe is a hair over pronounced for my liking. Not that the high end bump is bad. There's just a few frequencies that I usually find harsh, so I'll usually go in with a notch filter and scan around and then dip a frequency or two out. But sound quality wise, once I bought the first one of these, I had a plan to completely swap our whole wired mic inventory over to OM5s because I liked it. And I was even going to get the wireless versions of the OM5. That thought did stop after 2 years of ownership of a couple of these, and here's where I come to the negatives. What I'm actually holding is an Audix OM2. And the reason I'm holding an Audix OM2 was I actually looked around the shop because I thought we had one OM5 left, and it turns out we don't. Every OM5 we have owned has now died, and that's within 4 years or so, right around there. And what winds up happening to them, which weird, we've never had an OM2 die on us because I would assume they're manufactured the same. I would guess. I'm not a microphone engineer, but my thought was that everything, is the same except for the actual capsule attached to the mic. But what wound up happening with our OM5s was this capsule would get detached from the mic body, and then when it would get detached, it would rip the wiring out. And for some reason, now I do know one of our OM5s got dropped, and that happened, and it landed right on the head of the mic, and that happened right before sound check, so that's why that one died. But I wasn't witness to why the other ones died. I would assume they must have gotten dropped too. There must, a jarring experience, I guess, would have to be what would cause that. But I do think it's weird that all of our OM5s suffered the same fate, and I have not had a single OM2 die. So I don't know if we got like a weird manufacturing run where there was some quality control issues, or if just the OM5 is just tainted for disaster. But I put the kibosh on building out to all OM5s because if you've watched any of my videos, one thing I always tout is a price to performance ratio. Going from a $100 SM58 to a $160 OM5, I thought that extra $60 was worth it because I had to spend less time EQing, and the mic just naturally cut through the mix. So that extra $60 was money well spent in my book. But only getting a year to 2 years out of a product, especially a microphone, there's not really much to a microphone to die. Like, my view on a microphone is this mic should last me 5 to 10 years, if not longer. The only reason I should ever get rid of a mic is because I want to sell it and buy something better. So I stopped doing an Audix build out, and I was a pretty big fan because I believe all of Audix's products are made in the USA, and I do like to support any, you know, microphone, instrument manufacturer, speaker manufacturer. If you make a good product and it's made in the USA, I would happily give you my business. You know, I do get a little tired of everything being made in China nowadays. But so I would have loved to have kept the Audix, and I do still have other Audix mics. You know, I will always choose an i5 over an SM57. The D6 is, you know, if you don't call it the standard kick drum microphone now, I think you soon will. I've started to see it on a lot of tech riders. You know, so the i5, the D6, I would definitely never take those out of our inventory. But the OM5, I wish it had better reliability, and you know, maybe somebody from Audix will watch this video and comment below and tell me, hey, we had one funky batch run through production and we fixed that problem. You know, and if they did, I'd maybe consider going back and buying them, depend upon how far along the line we are in our Sennheiser E835 build out. But you know, I can't, like I said in my last video, I like to either say, hey, this is a great product, go out and buy it, or hey, stay away from this product. And you know, sadly, I would have to say, even though the microphone sounds great, I would have to say stay away from the Audix OM5, because if you're a singer in a band, and you know, $160 can be quite a bit to spend on just a microphone. You know, you're not going to want to have two of the same mic. You know, I mean, you always should have a spare mic, but I know a lot of people that don't travel with spare mics. You know, they spend their money on one good microphone that sounds awesome with their voice. And could you imagine if you had your mic on a case on the stage and it just happened to roll off and hit the ground, and all of a sudden, oh, well, your mic capsule just ripped out of the mic body. So hopefully someone around the bar, hopefully there's a sound tech there that's got a house mic you can use. If you're bringing your own PA, I don't know what you'd do. snag a mic from the drummer, I guess. So I just based on the reliability, I cannot give this my stamp of approval. Definitely go with a different mic. I believe Sennheiser has a 10-year warranty, so I haven't had our E835s too long to really give a proper review on them. That's why I'm giving a review on the OM5 now, and maybe 6 months to a year I'll probably give a review on the E835 that we switched over to. The build quality seems pretty good so far. I haven't had any die. Sound quality, I don't think it sounds as good right out of the box as this one does, but I would rather have something that's going to be reliable than something that sounds amazing but is maybe only going to last a year. But anyways, that's my thoughts on the OM5. There's a lot of other videos on YouTube that will give you sound quality comparisons. I usually don't like to ramble out specs or, you know, do audio comparisons on video, because anybody listening through their laptop speakers isn't going to hear the difference anyways. I think that every time I watch compare this speaker to this speaker videos I'm watching on my laptop, I'm like, oh, they sound the same through my laptop. And I'm too lazy to put my headphones in. But so no rambled off specs or anything. I always like to just give, you know, real world experience with them. You know, the OM5 was a mic we used 4 days a week, so it's not like it got minimal usage and went out twice a month. You know, it was used 4 days a week, sometimes more, depending upon how many shows we have going on. And, you know, realistically, we got anywhere from a year to 2 years out of the ones that we had bought. And for me, that's just not long enough. But that's my 2 cents. Have a good day.